All right, I'm going to record this video before I go to sleep, but I think it's something kind of continuation of the Long Descent by John Michael Greer. In it at the very end, he talked about future of spirituality. I'm cautious of that word, but I'm sure paganism will grow in certain segments. Also, Satanism. It's going to be a lot of edgy Satanist type stuff, which I think will fall to the wayside. I think the devil will lose, and I think that religion, whether Catholicism, well, you know what? Let's just say Christianity in general. I think the petty differences between Catholicism, Protestantism, baptism, etc., I think after a number of wars and shit like that, I think that there's going to be a general truce. I think maybe even a healing. Consumerism, man, the internet, man, this whole system that we have in front of us, it keeps us dumb. You have all this information at your fingertips, but you can't read for more than 10 minutes without getting sleepy. I mean, that's the case with me. Like I say, it takes me a while for really to just keep the laptop off, maybe watch a couple videos on YouTube, maybe on the TV through the Amazon Fire Stick. I know, ooh, consumerism. I'm not trying to promote it, but watch a couple videos on the TV, turn it off, go back to reading Dark Age America for me. But I think that once I'll put it to you this way. Here's my anecdotal story. I remember when I was in basic training, and this is before I started reading, before I was on the internet. This is 2006, 2005, actually. Sorry. And I remember just weaning myself off. It's like you don't have TV. This is before phones. I remember I was just fiending in a certain way because, like, I was still one of these boomer kids who was watching TV, right? And so I remember hearing TV when I was on guard duty. This is basic training, Fort Sill, Oklahoma. Um, just kind of thinking, man, I thought to myself after that time, basic training, it's like, man, now I don't have to watch TV. I feel better about myself. And then what happens? I get hooked back on TV and all this other shit. But anyway, um, once I believe, who knows if it'll return, because I'm sure whatever different powers that be will take over, is that they need the internet to keep people retarded and watching makeup videos or watching silly stuff just to keep them entertained, watch their movies, watch their pornography or whatever, right? But I think there will be a time when the end of consumerism, the end of the internet, will bring about a weaning, and there's going to be a lot of people fiending. It's just like a crackhead getting off crack, or a whatever. You're going to have that time where people are going to be relapsing. They're going to want to watch TV or something like that, and so they get hooked into watching, I don't know, some street play or something like that, or somebody doing Shakespeare or whatever, right? Um, but I think there's also going to be people who go on vision quests. There can be people who just kind of go off. They disappear for a while. Think about Musashi Miyamoto, the famous Japanese samurai. Not raised as a samurai, didn't come from a samurai class, but he wrote about it and talked about using his short sword and his long sword to fight people. And of course, people probably question about whether Musashi Miyamoto was real. Book of Seven Rings, this and that, one of his most famous works. But I think that's what's going to occur. People are going to be empty. They're going to feel lost. They're going to feel scared. And they're going to want, as much as I don't like saying it, but spirituality, not the new age bullshit. Of course, that will exist to a large point, but I think a lot of that is going to be superseded by much more older shit, much more older sort of stuff, which I think can be turned into religion, good, bad, right or wrong. But think there's going to be a lot of folks who are going to become monks, that are going to save all these books from libraries and, write down information about various topics. And they're going to save that information. It's not going to be perfect. There's going to be some stuff that will be lost, but I think a lot of people will look at this and say, oh my goodness, we forgot about this. Oh my goodness. And then they'll discover how these things were done. I think that'll be a very valuable thing, As much as people, like I said, I mean, you could talk to the Voshites or whatever the case may be, who think that somehow we're just going to keep progressing. We're going to have automation. Automation is going to save us. No, it isn't. Not yet. Automation, yeah, of course, they give the same excuse. This is the same thing Peter Coffin and all these types said, is that they think that automation, if it was done under socialism, it'd be a magical thing. It's like, no, it wouldn't. No. People would still want to work this and that. And it's just, that's the false narrative where it's just like, you just want to be a bum-ass nigga and watch your anime or watch whatever the fuck it is and think that that's how you live life. It's like, nah, man. Most people don't get that luxury. Most people have to work. Most people have to put in a day's work and do stuff for folks. They have to move. They have to work a forklift. They have to, go out and do welding. They have to, welding stuff. They have to go out there and dig ditches. They got to go out there and, be accountants and actually count stuff. That's still a lot of what accountants do. They just go out and they count each bag of rice or whatever, right? Each bag of grain, and they calculate cost and everything else. But, we're all caught up in consumerism. We're all caught up in that world. We're all caught up and think, man, if I just had this thing, then my life would be that much better. If I just had this tool or whatever, then my life would be so much better. It's like, nah, man. I'm still caught up in it. I'm still ordering books even though I shouldn't be. And I've only got through one book in the past couple of weeks, and hopefully I'll get through more just so I can get to sleep. But I really do think that we see that now people are finally admitting that, yeah, we are in a recession. The U.S. is in a recession, and it could be a depression due to COVID-19. A lot of places, have been hurting for decades, and it's just going to make it worse. More abandoned buildings and more people, of course, recording said abandoned buildings and shit like that. But yes.
He has to go out, I think. I guess he went in there.
All right. Have to edit this down, but oh well. Basically, yeah, I think that this will lead to a new renaissance in a certain way. And it won't be the dark ages. I mean, the dark ages, of course, depending on who you talk to, really wasn't what people thought it was. But I think it will just be a rebirth. And I think that there are going to be folks who I think just learn the values of old again. I think they'll learn respect, and I think they'll learn, true humbleness, a true humility for nature and for just living life. That's necessary. You have to be humble, because otherwise, if you're not humble, life is gonna humble you, point blank. But anyway, that's all I got. I will edit this down a little bit so it's a little bit easier to watch. But anyway, hopefully y'all enjoy that. See you later. Goodbye.